Part 2. Azure Moon. Garland Moon. The Golden Deer's Plea. The Kingdom Army has reclaimed the Kingdom capital and plans to immediately begin restoring the country and its forces. But an unexpected request arrives from Claude, leader of the Leicester Alliance. Dimitri promptly responds to the request for aid, and he rushes to prepare the kingdom's forces.
We have received a request for aid from the Alliance. They are being invaded by the Empire. We have only just taken back Ferdiad, and yet I am already asking all of you to move out once more. Please accept my apologies for that.
That's no problem at all. More importantly, how is the Alliance faring?
House Riegan has rallied the Alliance lords. They are facing the enemy with all the strength they can muster. But we do not know how far that will get them. It seems the enemy's relentless attacks have forced them into a tough situation. Their defeat at Gronder severely weakened the Alliance. I imagine the Empire now intends to destroy them before they can recover.
To think they'd watch us chase their soldiers out of the Kingdom capital, then immediately go invade the Alliance. Their general is Lord Volkard von Arundel. He serves as regent to the Emperor. He has presumably taken command after the Emperor was wounded in Gronder.
He is known for his shrewdness and excels not only in domestic affairs, but tactics as well. He is not an opponent we should take lightly. Lord Arundel. I always suspected that Lord Arundel was behind the tragedy 9 years ago. The timing of his departure from the kingdom, the fact that he abruptly stopped making donations, too many factors made him suspect. If Lord Arundel conspired with Cornelia, then what Kronya and the others said 5 years ago? Well, never mind that for now. The Alliance needs our help. What are your thoughts?
If we turn our back on the Alliance, and then Derdriu falls, it will undoubtedly make our situation difficult further down the road. We would have enemies in two directions, in the Alliance to the northeast, and in the Empire to the south.
That is true. In that scenario, we would not be able to safely march our soldiers to Enbar.
I am terribly worried about Lady Rhea, but I believe we must save the Alliance first. Oh, maybe if we do this, the Alliance will help us out in return. We could ask them to help us attack the Empire. You know, a sneak attack or something.
Annie, when did you become so devious?
What would your mother think?
What? It wasn't that devious.
What do you think, Professor?
We must go to Derdriu. I will admit that there is something to be gained for us as well, for when we eventually march south. But far more importantly, they need us. We cannot turn our backs on them. We will arrange to head out at once. Prepare yourselves, everyone.
Here for the flowers again? I see. I have two things to say. First, I thank you for supporting His Highness in my absence. But I must also admonish you for taking your own well-being too lightly. On several occasions, I have seen you protect others by putting yourself in harm's way. I am grateful for your efforts, but I feel you should place a higher value on your own life. His Highness relies on you, as do I. Then show that with your actions. We cannot afford to lose an invaluable asset like you. And This greenhouse would be a more lonely place without you in it. It would not be fair to the flowers to leave me their only caretaker. Someday, I hope to show you a whole landscape of these flowers in full bloom. Yes. Once this conflict is over, and His Highness ascends the throne, I believe it can be done. You must live at least until then. Understood? That's true enough. I had not thought much of my own life until now, except that I would gladly cast it aside for His Highness. That is still true, but now I desire to see the end of this war. Until I can show you the fields of Dusker and Bloom, I will go on living.
Hey, sorry for the wait, Professor. You've got excellent taste, Professor. This is great tea. Thank you so much. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. You are really curious, aren't you? I'm glad you're like that. What do you say? What? Professor! Wow. 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 What a wonderful aroma. In a time like this, not a lot of people can keep their hands clean. Professor, you are... Is it rude to say you're a mysterious person? Because you are. Mysterious. Professor! Wow. Thank you for the treat, Professor. I'd like to do this again sometime.
Anyway, the very same night we liberated the capital, a messenger arrived from Derdriu. Claude must have predicted that we'd retake it. Claude's a hard person to read. It's obvious not much escapes his eye, though. Kind of unsettling, honestly.
Let's see. So war finally comes to the Alliance territories. I don't mean that there's never been fighting on Alliance soil, of course. There have been countless skirmishes between neighboring lords, as well as conflicts with Almyra. But this is an invasion by an army of the Empire. It's a whole different animal. I don't want to see my family get dragged into this. I hope we can drive back the Empire.
I have been wondering something. If I had not been your student, where would I be right now? Who would I be? Do you ever think about that sort of thing, Professor? I see. You are so focused and cool-headed. I wish I could be more like you.
Claude. Which one was he again? Oh, right. Yeah, of course I remember him. It's just, I can't picture his face. Don't remember what he looks like. I'm not sure if I ever knew. How is this? I am being told you can see the sea from Derdriu. Not just see, that it is right there in front of you. In Bridget, the sea has great closeness. I would be looking at it every day. But in Garrick Mach, we cannot look at the sea. So I am feeling drawn to Derdriu. Yes, I think the sea has much beauty, but can also be frightening.
Professor? Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Derdriu is known as the aquatic capital. It's a beautiful town with streets that seem to float on the water and an impressive harbor. In times of peace, it would be a wonderful place for a holiday. Anyway, best of luck in the next battle.
That reminds me. We took Ferdiad back, but I never found the time to go shopping there. When the war's over and the city is revitalized, I'd like to visit again. Will you come with me, Professor? Really? Oh, I'm so glad. Although, I suppose we have bigger things on our plate, like Claude. He's in big trouble. I bet my family is too. We have to help them, Professor. I know we can't lose with you on our side.
Hey! We can't actually join you on the battlefield, but rest assured that we're there in spirit. We're doing everything we can to support the army. So give it your all out there.
We're gonna go help Claude? I haven't seen him in forever. Wonder how he's been. I chose this side because I believe in you, Professor. But it's not like I got anything against Claude. Well, he loved parties, and he was full of some pretty good jokes. I got no clue what'll happen to the Alliance, but I sure hope Claude doesn't die.
It'll take a little while yet for the capital to be restored to its former glory. But it's not dead yet. Doesn't matter how many times you put the people of Ferdiad down. They'll get right back up again. Just you watch. Before long, things will be back to how they were.
Guess this doesn't end with liberating the kingdom capital. Derdriu is next. That prince really works his people hard, doesn't he? Or should I be calling him a king now? Whatever the title is, he'll always be Dimitri to me.
Didn't they used to call Claude the Master Tactician? I want a nickname too. Maybe I'll get one if I can rescue him at Derdriu. I'll come up with a plan that's even better than his and earn a nickname for sure.
I'm glad Dimitri and Claude don't have to fight one another. I am the daughter of an Alliance Lord, though, so I suppose that goes without saying. Having to fight with your former classmates is just so terribly sad.
Derdriu, huh? I've always wanted to go there. In Fargus, most of the towns are pretty much glorified fortresses. So, to hear about a place called the Aquatic Capital, it just sounds so elegant. When the war's over, I hope I can visit with everyone there.
I went to visit my adoptive father at his home in the capital. He used to grovel at Cornelia's feet when the city was under her control. But after it was liberated, he started courting the kingdom instead. Absolutely. He's hopeless. I suppose when you're a merchant, that's all you know. No matter what becomes of the world, it'll always be plagued by people like him.
Claude, eh? He always was sharp among his peers. Never let himself get caught up in conventions. Well, He wasn't typical in Thoblin. I'd like to save him if we can. You may be right.
A hungry hero is no better than a well-fed soldier. Do you know that saying? No? That's because I just made it up. If you're hungry, you're never going to be at full strength. Keep your belly full and stay strong.
I heard that Derdriu is under attack. I hope Judith is all right. She may be the hero of Daphne, but facing the might of the Empire? I wish there was something more I could do. But I can only pray and hope.
Pardon me.
Incredible. Dimitri is going to Claude's aid. How great is that? It's like we've gone back to how things were 5 years ago. It's so nice. Just imagine if 80 was there too. I suppose you can't ever really go back to the way things were in the past.
Remember the Death Knight who stabbed me 5 years ago? Of course you do. How could you forget? Well, it turns out he's a general in the Imperial army, claiming victories on dozens of battlefields. But it looks like he's not at Derdriu. Like every man in my life, he's run away from me. And he better run. One day I'm gonna find that guy and pay him back for what he did to me.
Speaking of which, with the capital recaptured, I desire to call him Your Majesty rather than Your Highness. He would refuse my desire, rightfully pointing out that he has not as yet been crowned. However, the day this war is ended, and the Church has placed the crown upon his head, then he will truly be our king, and I will call him Your Majesty at last. I must go hear the reports from our spies. There is something worrying me, and no, it can wait. I shall tell you more when our information is more concrete.
You plan to aid Claude, do you not? I think that is absolutely marvelous. Being opposing forces at the Battle of Grandeur was ill-fated. It hurt to side against him. I am happy that things have taken a brighter turn now.
I thought there was a chance that Cornelia had captured Lady Rhea, but it seems that is not the case. Our next foe, Lord Arundel, was once a pious adherent to the Seros Creed. His contributions to the Church stopped quite abruptly some time ago. I think it is likely the man knows something.
Speaking of which...
Cornelia Arnhem. That's a familiar name, yes. She once studied in the Empire. My understanding is, shortly after I left the Empire, she did as well. Unlike myself, Cornelia traveled to the kingdom. Apparently, she halted a plague and was rewarded with a quite powerful appointment. That such an outstanding researcher should fall to such depravity. Sickening, Professor, and quite sad.
Even if we do enter Alliance territory, we're not gonna find Lady Rhea there. I wish we could leave Claude be and go attack the Empire. I suppose if we can't beat the Empire forces here, then we can't get into the Empire lands, can we? I guess that just means it's hard work time, huh, Professor?
Have you considered traveling to the Empire, to the Kingdom, and then off to Alliance territory? Everyone certainly is busy. Perhaps it's not a bad thing now that I think about it. If we were only busy, then I think I would be fine. I'd be able to take a nap for one. But if I napped now, I suspect that soon enough I'd find myself busy dying.
It seems Dimitri has become downright charitable. But I believe he is operating under a serious misapprehension. It may appear as if Claude is appealing to Dimitri for aid, but that is not what is happening here. Yes, a fine example of how snap decisions based on mere appearances can lead to gross misunderstanding. Claude has asked for reinforcements from here because he knows that I am here. Simply put, he is not throwing himself on Dimitri's mercy, he is throwing himself on mine. I suppose there is nothing else for it, is there? We cannot turn our backs on those in need. Let us grant him the aid he requires.
Hello there! Using the Great Bridge of Murden as a base, we'll spread out and cover as much ground as possible in our search for Her Grace. Judging by the information we've gathered, the most suspicious location is definitely the Imperial capital, the Hrim territory, whose leader is a mere puppet, and the Eyre territory, whose leader was deposed and disappeared. The Empire has a lot of places with suspicious happenings. It's certainly worth investigating. But it won't do to take too much time in relieving the Alliance army. Please, hurry.
Could be. So House Riegan has regained its influence in the Alliance and is gathering forces. Claude always was somewhat inscrutable. It's strange somehow to hear talk of his brilliance as the leader of the Alliance.
The pro-imperialist lords who have let the Empire in have their hands tied. Houses Ardelia and Gloucester are exposed and likely caught off guard. That must mean that Claude's allies are... Without a doubt, she is providing reinforcements. She has always supported Claude. Whatever the situation, Claude's military strength is lacking. And what's more, they suffered casualties at Gronder Field. I don't know how long the Alliance forces will be able to hold out against the Empire. We've got to move quickly, or we may be too late.
Oh. The Alliance leader is too demanding, and the prince is too soft-hearted, don't you think? They spilled much of each other's blood at Gronder. I lost a lot of friends to the Alliance. Sorry, I shouldn't complain. I know this is tactically sound. Everyone seems on board with it, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't have any misgivings.
If you travel east from the Alliance and cross Fodlan's Throat, you enter the land of Almyra. House Goneril's territory touches the eastern border of the Alliance. They also have Lord Holst, the most valiant warrior in the Alliance. Tasked with keeping watch over the Almyrans' movements, he rarely leaves Goneril territory.
I was getting excited for our big Empire showdown. I spent so much time mentally preparing. Then we shifted focus to Derdriu. I hadn't been expecting that. But, as a knight who's sworn to serve the goddess, I cannot turn a blind ear to those who seek my aid.
We're still searching for Lady Rhea. No news on that, I'm afraid. Lord Arundel, the Emperor's uncle, is the regent of the Empire. If we crush them at Derdriu, maybe we'll capture him and wring some clues out of him.
What about Derdriu, the aquatic capital? I've heard it's a magnificent city, you know? If we're going, I wish it wasn't to wage war. It'd be more fun to visit with a cute girl on my arm. Yeah? Maybe you and me? That'd be a good reason to survive the war.
Hello.
Let's see.
Lord Rodrigue Fraldarius has passed on. Margrave Gautier has assumed his position and is now gathering the lords of the Eastern Territories. House Gautier is equal in prestige to House Fraldarius. Sylvain is a Gautier. These lords are reorganizing the Fargus army and eradicating any remaining factions that claim allegiance to the Empire. Of course, His Highness is being kept apprised with regular reports, but it falls to me to monitor him and ensure he does not try to take on too much. I would ask you to do the same. If you take your eyes off that man, even for a moment, he is liable to do something rash.
It was over 20 years ago. There was an illness raging across Ferdiad, while people were dying left and right. It was Cornelia who saved the kingdom from that dreadful illness. Neither can I. By the time I was old enough to understand, that time had already passed. people praised Cornelia as a saint for ending the epidemic. But there came a day when she completely changed. Her behavior, mannerisms, likes, dislikes, everything. Despite all that, Father still appointed her to a high post. After all, she had saved the kingdom from ruin by that disease. But above all, my stepmother trusted her. That's why what that woman said is... Never mind.
Your Highness, did I fail to teach you proper table manners?
What? Oh, thank you. I will be more careful. I developed a bad habit these past 5 years.
Excuse me, but I gotta go grab me some seconds.
Seconds? We only just started eating. How did you magic away your firsts? How incredible. What a striking color. Ah, Professor, look at this stone. Such a brilliant blue. You don't normally find stones like this around here. I ought to grind it down. I wonder if it would still be the same color. So make pigment for my art. Good supplies don't come cheap. I prefer to make my own. Blue is especially expensive. How fortunate that I chanced upon this remarkable blueness. Oh, I'm sorry. There I go again, blathering on and on about painting. Oh, yes. But I know that I can get rather caught up in it and, enthusiastic. You know, Professor, no matter how impassioned I become about my art, you never hold it against me. One could argue that I'm better off preparing for our next battle. I am becoming a knight. Oh, Professor, please don't say things like that. I gave up on my artistic dreams long ago. To support my family, I will be a knight. That's that. No. I know it's the right thing to do. I'll continue with my art as a hobby. I don't think I could ever give it up. When I see something beautiful, I can't suppress the urge to paint it. I don't have a choice. And if my art can bring happiness to even one person, that's good enough for me. Professor, I have a favor to ask. I'm painting a portrait right now. When it's finished, I'd like to give the piece to you. Would you take it? Perhaps it can bring you a little happiness. That will have made the effort well worth it. Oh, excellent! Is that a promise? Because I'm really going to put my heart in it. That is, I'm going to enjoy partaking in this casual hobby of mine.
Thanks for having me. Time for business. Oh, wait. A tea party? I just love this kind of tea. Makes me happy knowing you handpicked it just for me. Thanks a million. You could easily sell this. Sold. Good deal. Not sure I'd buy it. Good deal. Not
I buy it. Good deal.
Of course I pay my taxes. The fact that I can even do business at all is thanks to the goddess. Sold. That's the way. You could easily sell this. Not sure I'm not buying it. That's the way. I'm not buying it. Hey, could you avert your gaze a bit? You're weirding me out. You could easily sell this. You like my duds? Well, they might look standard issue, but they've got... Oh, save the sales pitch for later? Yum. Thanks for treating me. Let's do this again, yeah?
I am here for the invitation. A fresh and fruity aroma. Oh, yes, this is my kind of tea. Thank you. Lovely aroma. Indeed. Splendid. Indeed. I see. Oh? Splendid. You are quite an intriguing person. I would be lying if I said I did not find you fascinating. Oh? Indeed. Professor. Settles nicely on the palate. What are your thoughts? Splendid. Professor. Professor. If you like this hairstyle so much, perhaps you should try it for yourself. Professor. This flavor is exquisite. This was wonderful. Next time, I will provide the tea. Farewell.
I will enjoy this.
This will go well. It went well.
I was trying to catch you off guard, but you managed to block it. Not too shabby, Professor. Oh, come on. Look at the blade I threw. It's just a wooden training sword. At worst, you could have gotten a bruise or perhaps a splinter. Let's agree it was funny and move on. Aw, poor thing. Aren't you used to getting hurt? You've been in your fair share of battles. Besides, I knew you'd dodge in time. I told you before that I was going to observe you. Since then, I've been watching you. I know what you're capable of. I took steps to make myself invisible, so I could observe you without being detected. I hardly let you out of my sight. After extensive research, I've concluded that you really are first-rate. Your sword skills are impeccable, you're a gifted educator, you clearly love working with the students. Someone with all of your exceptional qualities should not exist, but here you are. At first, I thought Geralt was the reason for Lady Rhea's interest in you. But no, Lady Rhea knew exactly what she was doing when she singled you out. Unfortunately, I can't hope to emulate you, let alone wield the sword of the Creator. So my plan of imitating you for Lady Rhea's attention has come to nothing. I didn't say that. When we rescue Lady Rhea, I'll provide her a full report of your activities. Hopefully, then I'll be in her good graces. Oh, and don't think you can avoid being watched. I won't let you out of my sight.
It's been 10 years. Can I move on yet? Ugh, never mind. I know what you'd say. I was just thinking about someone I used to know. Another mercenary I fought alongside. They were killed 10 years ago when Dagda was in conflict with the Empire. It's all I can focus on lately. To be honest, I blame you. I'm just teasing. I know it's not your fault. You just remind me of him. You give off a similar air. It's uncanny. You even have the same inflection, which makes no sense because we only ever spoke Dagdan. I don't know what it is, but you feel the same to me. I guess you just remind me of the past. Please, it's not your fault. It's my fault for getting caught up in memories. Still, you always remember your first love, right? That's enough of that. There are more relevant topics to discuss. Good question. The world is completely open to me. Your next move seems apparent. But who knows where I'll end up. I left Dagda, crossed through Bridget, and came all the way to Fodlan on my own. I think I'll be just fine navigating this world, wherever I decide to go.
Having allowed the Imperial army to invade, the Alliance army makes their last stand at the center of House Riegan territory in Derdriu. The Kingdom army rushes to their aid after amassing more troops.
The citizens of Derdriu have all been evacuated and are now at sea. Are you sure about this? If Derdriu were to fall, those ships don't have enough resources for...
Derdriu won't fall. Have some faith in me, will you?
Oh, yes, sir.
Our line of defense has been broken. The Imperial army will be here any moment.
Understood. You two join up with the troops in the city.
Yes, sir!
Judith, are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be. It's been years since I last battled in the city streets.
Don't go messing up because your vision is weakened with age. Take the defensive for now.
Yeah, I get it. You hang in there too, boy. Your wounds from Gronderfield haven't fully healed yet, have they?
No, but it's not like I can sit this one out. I have to make my daring escape after all. Yeah, for the last time, stop calling me boy. That's an official order from the leader of the Alliance.
Understood, Leader Man. I wonder if our little ray of hope will show up. We fought on opposite sides at Gronder, didn't we?
They'll come. You can count on it. If anyone can bring him back, it's Teach. Teach will talk and he'll listen. But more than anything, I've seen their skill and their abilities. I believe in them.
Claude, reinforcements are coming from the west. Their banner is that of the kingdom.
What did I tell you? They're here, and just in time.
It appears the Imperial army has already marched into Derdriu and engaged the Alliance. It seems the Imperial advance has been stalled by guerrilla skirmishes. The Alliance forces are holding out, but they won't last much longer.
That must be Judith of House Daphne, who joined up with Claude's troops. To think Judith, a true hero, would find herself backed into a corner like this.
It is not so. The Alliance has only drawn the enemy so deeply into the city to allow us to attack them from behind. Brilliant. I believe so. He put his soldiers into position purely on the belief that we'd come. I can't believe Claude would risk everything on that belief. He has placed all of his hopes on us. Let's make sure we live up to his expectations, Professor. Here we go. Let's move!
The leader of the Alliance has managed to escape to the harbor, has he? Those rats resist in vain.
Your Excellency, there's an army closing in on us from outside. The banners are those of House Blethid.
Blethid? I see. That idiot failed, it seems. Hurry up and kill the leader of the Alliance. With him gone, Derdriu will fall.
I will not let Claude die. Let's hurry to his rescue.
Hey, you're late! Hurry up and help!
The subjugation of Derdriu is complete. We will be joining the main army now.
They're showing up one after another. Nothing for it but to blockade the gate leading to the town. I don't want the enemy's numbers to increase anymore.
It's no good. We're surrounded. But I need to hurry up and rescue the boy. To get to the harbor, first we have to get rid of the enemy mercenaries. There's no other way. And now you've made me mad.
Clever. I can't believe they pushed through to here. Nothing is more foolish than dying in vain. Let's get to the harbor and finish off the leader of the Alliance. Nothing bites so hard as a cornered rat, eh?
What's my strategy?
Professor, if you had chosen me instead of Dimitri... No, I shouldn't dwell on it. I'm grateful you came. I'm glad to have your strength, if only for today.
Leave it to me. You're okay. Can you still fight, Claude?
You barely snatched me from the jaws of death, and now you're recruiting me. You sure know how to inspire loyalty, Your Majesty. Sadly, I'm not free to move here, for many reasons. You'll have to repel the Empire without me.
Your very presence has foiled our plans yet again. You would raise a weapon against your uncle. You've grown into a savage of a man, just like your father.
You are rather calm for one in your position. Or did you forget that this is a battlefield? Perhaps this is no time for words, Uncle. There will be time for that after we have settled things here. Let's see you dodge this!
Do our hopes end here?
Uncle, I need to know. The incident 9 years ago. You were involved, weren't you? You know something. What did Cornelia... No. What did my stepmother do?
You are not qualified to look into the darkness. You and Edelgard. Do your best to kill each other. You are family, after all. There it is. The light.
So steadfast.
He's dead. There goes our chance to gain more information. Then again, even if we had managed to capture him alive, judging by the way he was acting...
Teach is absolutely right. We should take this rare opportunity to let off some tension.
It's been a long time, Claude. I'm glad to see that you are safe.
Same. I haven't seen you since the nightmare that was Gronder. You really did come to help us. You must be a bunch of soft-hearted suckers, huh?
If you really felt that way, you would not have set up a defensive battle in the hopes that we would come. It worked out only because we made it in time. Were you really so confident that we would answer the call?
Of course. I knew you wouldn't hesitate to put yourself second and come running to our aid. You and I are cut from different cloth. I wouldn't make a move unless I could gain something from it. You've always been just the opposite. And of course, I've always been fond of taking dangerous risks. After all, I sent that express messenger before you had even recaptured the kingdom capital. If all went to plan, I knew you'd recapture it soon, and then respond to our request for aid. It was riskier than usual, I'll give you that, but it was the only card I had to play, so I took the gamble.
You crossed too many dangerous bridges for my liking.
I know, but that ends today.
What do you mean?
Here, take this. Use it however you see fit.
The legendary bow Fail-Not. Isn't this the hero's relic of House Riegan? Hold, Claude. This must be one of your jokes. You cannot truly intend to part with this.
It's not a joke. As of today, the Leicester Alliance is no more.
Just what are you planning, Claude?
If you're going to lead Fodlan, then the Alliance Lords will follow you. Back in the day, the Alliance split off from the Kingdom. I'm just putting us back together again. Oh, and I've already gained the support of the other Lords at the Roundtable Conference, so you can stop looking at me like I'm crazy. All that's left for me is to officially step down as the leader of the Alliance. Hold your horses there, Teach. I'm leaving Fodlan. There are things I have to do, dreams I need to see to fruition. That's why I became the Alliance leader to begin with, actually. But it left me no time for what I was really after. You'd better not take on too many responsibilities yourselves, or else you'll end up in the same boat. And remember, both the living and the dead cling to us without any regard for our own lives. It's up to us to break free of that weight and follow the path that we believe in.
Claude,
Oops, I almost forgot the most important thing. If you're looking for Rhea, apparently she's being held captive in the Imperial capital. It doesn't sound like they intend to kill her, but there's no telling what they're planning.
You have my gratitude, Claude.
Gratitude? Thanks, but no thanks. As far as I'm concerned, we're even now. I don't know how many years will pass until then, but let's promise to meet again. And when we do, don't be too hard on me, your kingliness.
Well, Dimitri, are you finally going to tell us the damn truth?
What are you talking about?
Didn't Lord Arundel say something about you and Edelgard being family?
To claim that the king and the emperor are related. Could it be?
I suppose I never told you, though I do recall mentioning it briefly to the professor. Lord Arundel spoke the truth. My stepmother was Edelgard's birth mother. Political turmoil drove my stepmother out of the Empire. Father fell in love with her at first sight, and they married. I lost my birth mother before I was old enough to remember her. My stepmother filled that role for me, but she lost her life in Duscur 9 years ago, along with Father.
Hang on, I didn't even know she was your stepmother. Did my father know about this?
Yes, all those who were close to my father knew, including Rodrigue. But to speak openly about it would have caused a scandal. And so she was our secret. No one in the general public knew about her. Naturally, the fact that Edelgard and I are step-siblings was kept a secret as well.
I'm finally beginning to understand what you went through 5 years ago. I mean, Edelgard is the only family you have left, isn't she? To find out someone so precious to you is actually your most hated enemy. How heartbreaking.
But wait! You two were born and raised in 2 different territories, right? So you probably never met until you were both at the academy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the idea of fighting family is just about the worst thing ever. But hopefully the fact that she's a stepsister who you never really knew helps with the pain? I don't know. It was just a thought.
I'm afraid that's not the case. Though it was only for a short time, Edelgard once called Ferdiad home. It was a long time ago, but she was a cherished friend of mine.
Wait! I remember now! She was that girl, wasn't she? The one you gave a dagger to. So, your little girlfriend was Edelgard.
Sylvain, if you have any more foolish things to say, please hold them for later.
I do have a few more up my sleeve, but they can wait. Go on, Your Highness. This is important for us to hear.
She may be a hated enemy now, but the Emperor is your old friend and your stepsister. Can you bring yourself to kill her?
I will kill her, if I must. But if there is any chance that the world she seeks to create could be a just one, then I would love to see a future in which I may reach out my hand for her and have her reach back. That said, I have no intention of letting my personal feelings cloud my judgment. Too much is at stake.
Your Highness, I think you should meet with the Emperor and at least try to talk to her. If there's any hope of ending this war without more bloodshed, we have to try. Besides, killing your own family, I'm sorry, but it's not right.
I think so too. And you are right that we should at least try.
I see. So my uncle's defeat is beyond doubt?
Yes, Your Majesty. I have confirmed it via countless channels. I advise that we accept this as a drop of joy amid a pool of sorrow.
Pretty words, but I'm afraid we can't rest until the joy outweighs the sorrow. And for that to happen, it now seems we must confront them all at once. Dimitri, who took back Ferdiad, Claude, who managed to protect the Alliance, and that professor, who is successfully mobilizing the Knights of Seiros.
What will you do, Your Majesty?
Pull back our forces. In the west to Orion Road. In the east to...
Fort Merceus, I presume. There is no better place for such a confrontation, after all.
Indeed. And dispatch the Death Knight to guard it. He can buy us some time. In the meantime, I will...
Forgive me, but I must speak bluntly. I do not agree with what you intend to do. Though slight, There is a chance that once done, it cannot be undone.
Even I cannot always choose the direction my path leads me. There is no other way. And so, I must walk on.